So if you're in the dating phase of your life and are looking to go into a relationship with a high value man, but you have a lot of men and are not sure what to look out for to help you make the right decisions or make an accurate choice. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you easy ways that you can distinguish between a high value man and a low value man so that you know the signs to look out for when making your decision. Because as elegant ladies in the Winning School of Elegance community, I would presume that you definitely would want to go into a relationship with a high value man. So I'll share with you how to identify a low value man and a high value man so that you're tossing the low value man to the side and giving all of your attention to the high value man. Let's get right into it, shall we? Some of the points that I'm going to be mentioning to you today are some points that actually helped me on my own journey when I was trying to figure out who to give my attention to and who not to. Now, when you're in the dating phase of your life, it's not necessarily you are not in a serious committed relationship with anyone. You are still fishing or shopping for the man that you can commit yourself to and go into a real relationship with. So the dating phase is not where you're giving people your full attention. It's just you doing your observation, meeting people, getting to know them, but there's no commitment whatsoever. And it's at this phase that you are allowed and are permitted to actually have multiple people that you are seeing. No, you're not committed to them in any way. You're just seeing them, having conversations with them, having drinks with them, and just getting to know them a lot better. That's the phase that I'm talking about. And it's in this phase that you now decide, okay, like I said sometime in a previous episode, as a woman, you should actually have multiple men in the dating phase of your life. And then you are now able to make a decision and commit yourself to just one person. Again, for clarity purposes, in the dating phase, there is no commitment whatsoever. It's just you having conversations with different people to get to know them, get to experience them from an arm's length level so that you can make informed decisions when choosing who to commit yourself to. This is just for clarity purposes, and I hope you understand me. So with that being said, let's get right into the very first point, okay? So the very first point that I've put down here on how you can easily distinguish between a real man, that's a high value man, and a low value man is a low value man tries to get physical with you right after meeting you. And a high value man, on the other hand, will take his time to get to know you and understand you before trying to move things forward. So this actually explains the point I was trying to make earlier, that this whole point, this phase is just the dating phase where you are just having conversations with different people to see who you now bring in and commit yourself to. A low value man, one way you easily know them, they become too touchy. They want to kiss you, hug you, touch your bum, touch your breasts. The minute they meet you, they don't even care about getting to know you. All they want to do is just get in your pants and smoosh you and touch you and cross your boundaries, whether they think that you like it or not. For them, you're a woman, come bring your body, let's do what we want to do and get away with bullshit. Don't give in to that. That's how you identify a low value man. So when you see someone who is like that, who meets you for the first time, maybe you guys have probably just had one conversation over the phone, and then you choose to maybe meet at a restaurant or wherever you choose to meet. And I would advise you ladies, never visit a man in his house for the first time, and don't even bring him to your house when you're trying to get to know him. You people meet in a public space. If you must meet in a public space and get to meet him a couple of times in a public space and get to understand him and how he functions before you bring him into your space or go into his space. But one easy way you would identify a low value man is they get very touchy quickly. But a high value man, on the other hand, is someone who respects himself and in turn respects others. So he won't come and start touching you up and down like he owns your body. He takes his time, gets to know you, gets to understand you before he chooses to move things forward. And as elegant people in this community, it's important that you're focusing your attention on high value men who have more to offer you. Because I promise you, low value men just will come into your life and drain you of the value, the small value that you're even trying to gather. They will drain it. and leave you empty. And you do not want that for yourself. So that's one pretty easy way you can actually decipher between a high value man and a low value man, okay? The second way you can easily tell a low value man from a high value man is a low value man is not consistent or intentional with his plans with you. He doesn't put in efforts to create quality moments for the both of you. Neither does he do things that shows that he values your presence and your time. His own is just, okay, how does it matter to me? Is it important to me? He's very selfish in his approach towards things. When he's scheduling time, meeting moments or dates, he's only concerned about his convenience. And then he doesn't even do things intentionally or purposefully. You can see he's just doing things like, let me just do it so I can, to just be like, I have done this. Not because he actually intentionally really wants to do it. And another sign is he's never consistent. He's never consistent in his actions. Today he's good. Tomorrow you wonder, Kilo Shele, brother, what's the matter? So he's never consistent with his actions. Today he's loving, all lovey-dovey and sweet and nice. Tomorrow you're wondering, what did I do to you, sir? Is there a problem? So you need to be looking out for this sign so that you know whether or not he's a low value man. A high value man, on the other hand, is very consistent. He's very intentional. He's very purposeful. Every single thing he does in relation to you and how he treats you, he does it with a purposeful intention, if that makes sense. He lets you know that your time and the effort that you are putting in is very valuable and important to him, and he shows it. But a low value man, on the other hand, never consistent, never intentional, never purposeful. He just does, and he's very selfish. So that's another way that you can tell between a low value man and a high value man. Before we go on with the video, remember that the Art of Speaking course is up and still available for anyone who wants to elevate their communication skills and know how to express their feelings, thoughts, and ideas eloquently, elegantly, and of course, articulately. So just click the link in the description box down below to get more information about the course and how you can access it as well, okay? Another way is simply a low value man does not respect your boundaries. See this one? In fact, it actually also is kind of connected to the very first points that I made. A low value man is the kind of man who will meet you and start touching you even though that's not what you are about. A low value man never respects your boundaries and never see your standards as anything. In fact, when you're communicating your standards, it's like, girl, I beg, your standards are too high. He's quick to dismiss your standards. He's quick to dismiss your values. He's quick to dismiss the things that are important to you. And when you have set clear boundaries for yourself, he's quick to he doesn't obey it. He doesn't pay attention to it. He doesn't even remember. So your boundary can be, oh, I don't take calls after a certain time. So once it's 9 p.m., I'm off to bed, I don't take calls. A high value man remembers that you have said that, and whenever he is planning his call times with you, he remembers that, oh, Winifred doesn't take calls after 9 p.m. So I have to respect that and ensure that I'm calling her before 9 p.m. And even when I know that I want to call her after 9 p.m., he's sure to communicate and say, oh, babe, or oh, Winnie, remember he's just talking. So it's, oh, Winnie, I'm going to be done late from work at this time. Is it possible that I call you? I know your sleeping time is 9, but is it possible that I call you a little bit past 9 just to have a conversation with you? He's very respectful of your boundaries. He doesn't cross them. That's how you know a high value man. And a low value man, on the other hand, if you like, say you don't call by 9, that's when he starts calling you at 10, starts calling you at 11 p.m. When you've clearly told him, I don't receive calls after 9. So you need to also use this as a sign to decipher whether or not this person is a low value man or a high value man, okay? And I mean, the time is just an example. There's so many other ones. What are the boundaries and standards you have set for yourself? Watch who respects it and watch who breaks them. The one who respects it is the one who cares about you. Anyone who breaks your rules and your standards and boundaries has no care in this world for you. And I'm telling you with my full chest. Another point that can help you tell whether a person is low value or high value is a low value man will not consider your schedule and convenience when inviting you on a date. And he only sets date and time of any activity without seeking to find out if it is convenient for you. A high-value man, on the other hand, understands the importance of timing and scheduling correctly, and so he will respect your time and seek to work with your time. Seek to work with what's convenient for you instead of insisting on his own time. But a high-value man, he will just wake up one night, maybe 8 p.m., and he feels like, oh, having a drink, and he remembers, okay, who do I call? He looks through the phone. Okay, let me call Nkechi. Beep. Nkechi, how far? Are you interested in having drinks? And you sweet Nkechi, elegant self, you'll be like, okay, where can I meet you? Don't do that. Girl, don't do it. Even if you are convenient, even if it's convenient for you and you don't have anything to do with your time, no man should pick up his phone and call you randomly and tell you to meet him for drinks or meet him somewhere for something. Again, I'm saying this is a phase where you guys are still talking. Someone who you already know and are committed to can do that and is acceptable. But for someone who you're just getting to know, don't set that kind of standard for him and make him think that you don't have things that you're doing with your time. You say no, you decline and say, no, thank you. Can we maybe meet tomorrow afternoon at 2 p.m.? I know that my schedule will open up at the time. We can meet then. And then if he says, okay, fine. If he gets upset, toss him to the trash immediately. Don't even wait. Don't waste time. Do you understand? Don't waste time. No man should call you randomly and be telling you, come and meet me for drinks. Not whether he cares that it's convenient for you or not. So that's another way you can tell between a low-value man and a high-value man. A low-value man never cares. He's not considerate of your time. A high-value man, on the other hand, will ensure that he works with what's best for you. Okay? Another way you can easily tell is that a low-value man doesn't add value to your life in any way. Instead, he will drain your value. You can tell. By just having conversations with them maybe once or twice, you can already tell that you feel drained. You feel like, oh, no, this guy, no. Ask yourself, whenever you meet a person, how do you feel after you have met that person? Or after the meeting is over and you have gone your separate ways? How do you feel? Do you feel refreshed? Do you feel rejuvenated? Do you feel alive? Or do you feel sad? Do you feel down? Do you feel depressed? How do you feel after you have met a person? That actually says a lot about that person. Because if you meet a person, you go to meet a person and you are alive and vibrant, and then after you're done meeting that person, that aliveness just dies down. You become sober. You start thinking about your whole existence. That's not a good thing. It says a lot about the person that you have gone to meet. Because again, remember, there's something called aura, vibe, energy. These things are exchanged through conversations or through interactions with people. A low-value person will leave you drained. He can leave you drained in form of he's just blabbing all about himself, and doesn't care anything about you. He can leave you drained. Maybe he invites you out for drinks and then he tells you pay the bills. That one will leave me drained, I beg, because why would you be telling me to pay the bills? That's a very low-value man. But a high-value man, when you're done with that man, in fact, you go home, you have butterflies in your chest. That's what you say will make ladies want to say, okay. They start to see the vision of marriage and having children, but relax, okay? Relax your nerves, okay? But yes, that's the effect a high-value man would have on you. They actually make you feel butterflies in your belly, and then you just start to think about them over and over again, and then you just want them in your space and in your corner. That's how you know. So always look at yourself, look at your mood, look at your energy, and look at your vibe, and ask yourself, before meeting this person, how was I? And then after meeting this person, how did I become? Use that as a yardstick to judge whether this person has left you better than he met you or has drained your whole life. This next one is a no-brainer. A low-value man does not care a thing about your goals and dreams, and instead is only concerned about what he wants or what he cares about. No matter what you tell him, oh, you're ambitious, you want to be this, he doesn't care about what you're doing with your life. He doesn't care. He doesn't pay attention. He doesn't listen. He doesn't contribute in any way. But a high-value man, on the other hand, who understands life, who understands vision, who understands dreams, who understands goals, who is very ambitious, he understands that a person's purpose is one of the most important things, in fact, if not the most important thing on earth for that person. And he would care to contribute to what actually makes you who you are. He will contribute to your goals, to your aspirations, to your dreams, and he wants to do everything in his power to make you a much better person. That's how you know a low-value man from a high-value man. So please be watchful and mindful of this, okay? Another way you can know is a low-value man has no empathy. He is not kind. He's not compassionate. He's very mean. Mean with his words, mean through his actions. He doesn't care. He's not considerate. He can do something to hurt you and not even apologize, not even care that he was disrespectful. In fact, he will start gaslighting you in the process and making you feel like you are the one who is at fault for something that he did. So he doesn't have empathy. If you're looking for empathy from him, you can never get it. A high-value man, on the other hand, understands what compassion is. Understand that sometimes things happen and it's important to be compassionate, considerate, understanding, caring, kind. You want a man who is kind above everything else. You want a man who is kind, not just kind to you, but kind to everybody else, kind to the people who cannot do anything for him, who cannot pay him back or give him anything that will be substantial in his life. Watch how the man treats those people around him and find out if he is a kind person. You definitely don't want to be in a relationship with a man who has no empathy. That's the worst thing you can ever do for yourself. So that's another way you can tell whether a man is high value or low value, or even worth your time or attention, okay? Another point I put here is a low-value man doesn't know how to communicate his intentions honestly and respectfully. Sometimes he doesn't know how to express himself, and then he just assumes that you should know what he wants to say. And when you don't act in line with what he expects you to say because he thinks you're a witch who knows it all, he gets upset, he gets angry, and before you know it, things just become some kind of way. They don't know how to communicate their intentions honestly. They don't know how to communicate respectfully. You see them talking to you harshly. You see them talking to you brashly. You see them talking to you like with no respect and regard for your person. But a high-value man who understands the importance of respect, respecting everyone and looking at everyone as valuable, will treat you with from a great level of dignity and respect. And that's exactly what you want for yourself. So that's another way that you can tell when a man is high value or low value. The next point that I put down here on how you can distinguish between a low value man and a high value man is a low value man wears his emotions on his sleeves. You can tell when he's angry. You can tell when he's moody about something. You can tell when he's happy. On the other hand, a high value man is very emotionally intelligent. A low value man will throw his tantrums on you even when you're not the cause of his problems. A low value man doesn't know how to manage his feelings. He doesn't know how to manage his emotions. He's reactive to everything. Something happens, he reacts. Instead of coming down to assess the situation and then respond from a place of intelligence, he doesn't know how to do it. He's very bashful, very harsh, like, you don't want that for yourself, sisters. And the last point that I put down here on my list is a low-value man is highly dependent and he lacks ambition. This is the kind of man who will come and then expects you to be his mother. That will mother him, provide all his needs, cook his food. He will come to your house, stay in your house from morning till night, looking for food to eat, water to drink, where to lay his head. He will be asking you for money, begging you for money, telling you, oh, you know, shawty, you need to help your homeboy. I've watched too many movies. Yeah, that's a low value man. No ambition, lacks ambition. If you ask him, okay, what are you doing with your life? He can't even explain what he's doing with his life. And even when he's able to explain it, there's no vibrancy in the explanation. You can see that this guy is heading nowhere. You definitely can tell. A high value man, on the other hand, super ambitious, has things that he's doing, of course doesn't care about you or your success. When I say that, I mean like he doesn't care about your money. He's not interested in your money. He's more interested in you as a person and not your money. But a low value man, he will leech on you, squeeze you dry, eat your money, run away with your money. He will eat your food, drink your water, do everything, and not be valuable to you in any way. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate the point I tried to make at the beginning. At this point I shared with you are points that you should look out for when you are in the dating phase of a relationship. And in that dating phase, you are allowed to have multiple men that you are having conversations with. And it's from that pool of men that you can now decide, okay, this is the one that you now say, I want to be committed to in a relationship, not marriage. So there are different levels to these things. There is the dating phase, there is the actual relationship phase, and then there is marriage. In the dating phase, the only thing you're doing is having conversations. Nothing else is involved. You are not obligated to do anything for the man. There is no sex involved in that phase. Nothing is involved whatsoever. Just conversations where you guys are getting to know each other. And it's in that phase that you can decide to have multiple men that you're having conversations with so that you know which one has sense. Because I promise you, as much as you are doing that, I don't feel bad for talking to multiple men at the same time in that phase. Because as much as you're doing that, they are doing it as well. And it's like you are shopping for, maybe you're shopping for, if you're looking for a job, for example, you don't just go and put your application in one place, right? You go and put your application in multiple places. Is that cheating? Is that cheating on? If you can do that for your job, why can't you do that with men? Why can't you? And so that's why I said in that phase, only conversations, just talking, getting to know each other, getting to understand each other, getting to see if you share the same values. Yeah, so I just had to reiterate that point again. And for you, my elegant ladies, my advice for you is, of course, you only need high-value men in your life. And for you to get high-value men, you need to be a high-value woman. I think we filmed I don't know if the episode has gone up, where we talked about how you can attract a high-value man into your life. If it's up already, I'll put the link in the description box down below for you to go check it out. But that's pretty much all that I have for you for today's episode. If there are other ways that we can distinguish between low-value men and high-value men, and you know it and I didn't share it in the points that I made earlier, please let's continue the conversation in the comment section by leaving us a comment so we can all continue to learn together, okay? I'll see you all again in another episode. Until then, remember to stay very, very elegant. Bye.